Thursday, fourth grade mathematicians. We will be working on this lesson 19 problem set today. And it is stretching our thinking a bit because now we will continue to be working with fractions, but we will be doing that in word format. So just going through the objective, which is, so today we will be adding and subtracting fractions in using word problems by using number bonds, standard algorithms, and even number lines in some cases to help us out. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1 asks, so Sue ran 9/10 of a mile on Monday and 7/10 of a mile on Tuesday. How many miles did Sue run in those 2 days? Okay, so let's think for a second. Am I going to be using addition or subtraction in this problem? Exactly, I'm going to be using addition. Why? Because I'm just essentially finding the total of how much she ran on Monday and Tuesday. So let's get after it. So I have 9/10 plus 7/10. Checking to see if my denominator is the same, and it is. And then I need to add my numerator. I know that 9 plus 7 is 16. So that means she ran 16/10 of a mile over Monday and Tuesday. But I'm not done yet because 16 over 10 is an improper fraction. So let's convert this. 16 over 10. So how can I convert this into a mixed number? What did we do? Well, we just looked at our denominator and we know that if our numerator is the same as our denominator, then that is just equal to 1. And then if I take away 10 over 10 from 16 over 10, what do I get? If I take away or if I subtract 10 over 10 from 16 over 10? Well, we know that 16 minus 10 is 6, and then my denominator stays the same. So I am left with 1 and 6/10 as my final answer. 1/6 miles. Okay, let's read number 2. Mr. Salazar cut his son's birthday cake into 8 equal pieces. So the cake has 8 equal pieces. Mr. Salazar, Mrs. Salazar, and the birthday boy each ate 1 piece of the cake. What fraction of the cake was left over? Okay, so this is a 2-step, this is a multi-step problem. So first, you guys need to figure out how much of the cake was eaten. Okay, how much of the cake was eaten? That would just be, this is very day 1 fraction review. We know that each piece of the cake represents 1/8 or 1/8 of the cake. So find out first how much of the cake was eaten, and then you need to go ahead and use that to help you subtract to find out how much of the cake is left over. Okay? And I know that my total amount of pieces, or my total number of cakes I have, which is 1 in fraction format, is just 8 over 8. Okay, so go ahead and solve using that method. Number 3 asks, or Maria spent 4/7 of her money on a book and saved the rest. What fraction of her money did Maria save? So she spent 4/7 of it. Okay, and we know we need to subtract because it tells us that we need to figure out how much she saved. Okay, so We are subtracting our whole, which is 7 over 7, and subtracting that by 4 over 7. It's your job then to figure out this problem. Moving on to number 4. Mrs. Jones had 1 4/8 pizzas left after a party. After giving some to Gary, she had 7/8 pizza left. What fraction of the pizza did she give Gary? Okay, let's think for a second. So she started, it says that she had 1 4/8 pizzas left after a party. And then after giving some, she had 7/8 of a pizza left. So it appears she initially had 1 4/8, and then she gave some away. So if she is giving some away, she's giving some away. Think about what order of operation you need to use for this 7 over 8. Okay? And then you would follow that order of operation to get your final answer. Okay, so think about what order of operation if you need to add or if you need to subtract. Okay, and a key word here is left, and a key word here is, or keywords I should say, is what fraction did she give, what fraction of the pizza did she give to Gary? Okay. But think more specifically about the word left and what does left tell you. So number 5, a baker had 2 pans of cornbread. He served 1 1/4 pans. What fraction of a pan was left? So I'm going to highlight my key terms. So he had 2 pans. Then he served 1 1/4 pans. And then how many was left over? Okay. So how many remained after he gave some, after he served some? So think about the order of operation you need to use for left if you leave something. So he starts off with 2. Then you would plug in your order operation. Do you need to add or subtract? 1 1/4. Okay. Think about that. So think about the order of operation you need to use. And also a hint, since we have 2 whole numbers here, we can just add or subtract those whole numbers together. Okay? And then let's actually do 6 together. So we would have done 1 and 6 together. So Marius combined 4/8 gallon of lemonade, 3/8 of a gallon of cranberry juice, and 6/8 of a gallon of soda water to make punch. And it's asking us how many gallons of punch did he make in all? In all. So all is our keyword there. And that means we need to find the total. And in order to find the total, do we add or subtract? We add. We add 4/8 plus 3/8 plus 6/8. 4 plus 3, or first I need to check to see if my denominators are the same, and they are. Then I'm going to go ahead, do one fraction at a time. 4/8 plus 3/8. Denominator stays the same, and I have 4 plus 3 is 7 over 8. And then I cannot forget about that 6 over 8. Once again, denominator stays the same. And I know that 7 plus 6 is 13. So that means that essentially Marius made 13/8 of punch. But I cannot leave it at 13/8 because that's an improper fraction. So I'm just going to break this up. And how do I break it up? Well, if we need some review on past days, we know that we break up fractions by creating similar numerators and denominators. Okay. And our denominator here is 8. So I'm going to start off with my numerator being 8, my denominator being 8. And I know that 8 over 8 is equal to 1. And I have to think, what is left over when I take 8 over 8 from 13 over 8? What is 13 minus 8? Well, I know that 13 minus 8 is 5. 5 over 8. So I have, and my final answer is 1 and 5 over 8.